So after talking about the different spasm of the esophagus, we talked about the diffuse esophageal spasm, and then we also talked about the cricopharyngeal spasm. Next, in this section, we will talk about the condition known as the cardiac achalasia, and we will talk what is cardiac achalasia, how the patient with this condition present, and how we can diagnose and treat cardiac achalasia. What is cardiac achalasia? Cardiac achalasia is characterized by absence of peristalsis in body of esophagus and high resting pressure in lower esophageal sphincter. Later also does not relax during swallowing. So as compared to cricopharyngeal spasm, which was the involvement of the upper esophageal sphincter, we have, remember, is upper esophageal sphincter that controls the entry of the food into esophagus, lower esophageal sphincter that controls the passage of the food from esophagus into the stomach. So in this case, cardiac achalasia, there is absence of peristaltic waves or peristalsis. Again, I mentioned what is peristalsis. It's the wave-like movement. So peristalsis is a wave-like movement that push the food from one to other, or that push the food in the esophagus, that push the food in the small intestine, so the food moves further down in the GI tract. So it's the absence of peristalsis in the body of esophagus and high resting pressure. Now, if the esophagus is not, peristaltic waves in esophagus are not normal, then you can imagine the food will go down and it will keep in the lower part of the esophagus because lower esophageal sphincter is not functioning properly. So it will stay and the pressure in the esophagus will be rising. So resting esophageal pressure is high, and it also, the lower esophageal sphincter does not relax during the swallowing also. So that's the picture of achalasia, which shows the dilated esophageal body with stricture at the bottom. So that's the exact picture. Food is not passing properly because of the absence of movement, and then there is lower esophageal sphincter is not relaxing, so it's not, the food is not entering from esophagus to stomach, so it remains in their esophagus and cause dilation of the esophagus. Symptoms of the patient with cardiac achalasia, again pretty much the same. Dysphagia is always present, difficulty in swallowing, more to liquids than solids. So liquids are more difficult to swallow as compared to the solids. Regurgitation of swallowed food. Food is not passing from esophagus to stomach properly because of the inability of lower esophageal sphincter to relax. So there is retention of the food in the esophagus, and once more and more food is accumulated or retained or is present in esophagus, it can regurgitate or go backwards, particularly at night. So patients with this disorder usually should have their head elevated, so the regurgitation can be avoided and it cannot come back. So especially at night when the patients are lying down, they have this problem. Diagnosis, how we can diagnose cardiac achalasia. by radiography. Radiography very common for upper GI tract barium swallow. For lower GI tract barium enema is preferred, but the upper GI tract the barium swallow is the preferred method of radiography. So barium swallow shows dilated esophagus, narrowed rat tail lower end, also called bird beak appearance. So narrow lower end because of the inability of the lower esophageal sphincter to relax. There is a beak-shaped appearance, and it's called the bird beak appearance of the esophagus. So these are some characteristic features of the cardiac achalasia on barium swallow. Then the manometric studies. Manometric studies are the studies used for the pressure, how the good or bad is the pressure or it's normal. So manometric studies. Low pressure in the body of esophagus because of the inability of the sphincter to relax. There is non-peristaltic contraction present. So low pressure in the body of esophagus. High pressure at the lower sphincter. Food is entering at the lower part of the esophagus because the sphincter is not relaxing. It keeps on accumulating, and the lower esophageal pressure at the level of lower esophageal sphincter is high. Then there is failure of sphincter to relax. Then the other study for the diagnosis is endoscopy. Endoscopy is performed, and then direct visualization of the esophagus is performed to find out what's the problem. So endoscopy to exclude any benign stricture of the esophagus, exclude development of carcinoma. So if endoscopy is performed, usually if there is any obstruction, any growth, we can even take biopsy, or we can exclude if there is any growth or mass present, or if there is any benign stricturing of the esophagus is present. Then also the common complication of disorder, which is the sphincter and the stricture formation and the development of the carcinoma, which is common with the cardiac achalasia. So these are some diagnostic tests, very commonly performed with the disorder of the upper GI tract. We have endoscopy, radiograph in which barium swallow is common, and then manometric studies to find out the pressure in the lower esophageal sphincter. Treatment, how we can treat cardiac achalasia. It is treated by the modified Haller's operation is the surgery performed. Dye is injected here, incision made in the inner layer of the esophagus, which is the mucosa, and then tunnel made in esophageal wall, muscular layer is cut and divided, and then mucosa is closed with the clip. So that's the procedure that is performed for the treatment. Myotomy, narrowed lower portion of the esophagus. Forceful pneumatic dilatation. If the lower esophageal sphincter sometimes is so high and the sphincter is not relaxing properly, then the forced pneumatic dilation of the lower esophageal sphincter is performed so food can enter from the esophagus into the stomach. So there's dye is first injected, then the incision cut is made in the mucosal layer, then the tunnel made in esophageal wall muscular layer is cut and divided, and mucosa is closed. So it's a pathway is created to for the passage of the food. Forceful or pneumatic dilatation of lower esophagus done in those which are unfit for the Heller's operation, modified Heller's operation. Forceful dilatation is performed so to dilate the lower esophageal sphincter so food can enter the stomach. So that was all about cardiac achalasia. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.